Hello, everybody, and welcome. It is Thursday night, so it is time once again for the Tank Show, where we hope to spend time acquiring new knowledge. I appreciate you all being here. I see people rolling in. It looked like John and Lisa had wrapped things up, which was surprising. Or maybe they were showing some different video, but I didn't see them on my phone screen. But either way, I appreciate all of you all being here. I do have my buddy, pal, and co-host, Chattanooga Ed, here with me tonight. I'm sure some of you all will have questions about him and his heart surgery that he had scheduled. So we'll let him talk about that here shortly. We got something kind of fun to do tonight. I have a comment that led to a conversation on one of my videos that I would like to share with you all. I will preface by saying that the conversation has been removed, and I'm not going to divulge the individual's name, just because I know we have some awesome viewers, awesome fans, and I love you all. And I know there would be some people going back to it to make some comments of their own. So that's not what we're here for. That's not what it's about. This is about having fun and sharing information in a friendly and loving way. But I wanted to share this conversation because it gave me, I guess you could say, insight into the mindset of some people in the fish keeping community. And I run into this mindset a lot in other controversial conversations, but not so much in the fish keeping community. So I think it's going to be fun. We'll talk about that a little bit. I do have to say, I think I did miss 2 or 3 comments when I was trying to get the screenshots before I removed it. So there wouldn't be any retaliation on that individual, but I remember the conversation well. It was kind of fun and interesting. Ben Backstrom says, "Good evening, everyone. Hey, James and Ed," which reminds me to remind you all, or let you know if you're new here, you can type in the @ symbol in front of Fish Room Fever, and what that does is it highlights on my screen so we can answer your question and read off your comment live on the air tonight. Daylight savings kicked in. Yes, it did. So it's a little different. Sorry, I got caught up in some conversation in the chat there. Let me go back up here, make sure I did not miss anything else. Looks like I did not. So awesome. 67 people here. Appreciate that so very, very much. Thank you all for hanging out. Ed, do you want to let everybody know what happened with you? Because I know people weren't expecting to see you here tonight or for the next couple weeks.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting to be here. Yesterday, we woke up at 3 in the morning because my hospital that's doing the heart surgery is about an hour drive. And we drove down there in the rain and the dark and got there at 5. Got in the waiting room, and the lady says, "Well, I see that you're scheduled for a surgery, but I've also see that it's not been scheduled. Like all the parts of it hasn't been scheduled." And so they didn't know what was going on. So they bounced us all over the hospital. And it turns out, do you guys remember Victor? He's the guy who was supposed to call me a month ago. Well, he did my orders and forgot to do the last one, which was my heart catheter look. And that's like one of the most important procedures. So we had to sit there in the waiting room to get fitted in during the day. Luckily, they got us in at 10, which was amazing. And the bummer thing, though, is I donated a kidney to my brother, so I can't have a lot of different chemicals in my body at a time, or it'll possibly make me go on dialysis because it'll cause my kidney to shut down. And they scored a whole bunch of, I think they call it contrast. It's like a warm sensation that went up through my arm to get into my heart during this heart thing. And then they also give you like a drug that makes it so they can ask you questions, but you're out of it. Well, they didn't give me the drug because they didn't want to add more stuff to me. So the whole thing was super painful. And the point is, it's going to take about 7 days for it all to get out of my body for me to be able to have my surgery, so they can add more chemicals to my body to make me feel better during the surgery. So I got delayed another week, but my heart is really healthy except for the torn crappy stuff on it. I don't have plaque and not calcium. I forgot what it's called. The stuff that causes people to have heart attacks. It clogs up the hearts and stuff. They wanted to make sure I didn't have that, and that's why they did it. So that was good. And I didn't have any bad reactions, so I got to leave last night from the hospital. I didn't have to spend the night, so that was even good too. When my dad had it done like a year or two ago, he had to spend the night, so I was happy about that. But yeah, so but now I can't use my hand at all for 3 days. Now I'm thinking yesterday was one day and this is day 2, so hopefully tomorrow's day 3, and I'll be able to touch or pick up things with my right hand, which is just a pain. And if I could have an extra thumb right here, I would definitely do it. Just talking about the thumb ideas. Okay.
Absolutely.
So that was that, and that's why you guys are seeing me. I'm not going to have a show tonight. Rico had already planned to go at my time, and so that was cool that way, because I can't even do a craft with my hand.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have fun on Rico's, and then after that, I'm going to go on Sarah's stream. We're going to have a special Sarah episode tonight.
That'll be fun with Sarah J. Sieber. Absolutely. I'm going to jump into some highlighted stuff here. Rustic Nashville saying hello and asking why the delay. Now you know. We're glad to have you with us here tonight, Ed, although that will lengthen the time in the future that you're not with us.
Yeah, well, and that's the worst part, because it's going to – I really want to go to Aquaticon and be as healthy as possible, and now it's going to push that even farther, my rehab time.
Absolutely. Whip's World saying, hey, gentlemen. Whip, it is good to see you, my friend. Hope you're doing well tonight. And Sarah Aquatics has a question, which, Sarah, by the way, I saw you came back and asked that question with the highlight. I do appreciate that. Fortunately, it was slow enough I was able to catch it the first time, but I appreciate you doing that just in case I hadn't caught the first time you asked. Sarah Aquatics says, hi, James and Ed. I got a 42-gallon with 5 cardinal tetras, 5 black neon tetras, 5 serpent tetras, and about 20 Endler guppies. Would you recommend any other fish for the tank, or would you leave it? You want to start off on that one, Ed, since I normally dive in first?
I would probably get 2 more of each of the tetras, because I like at least a group of 6 tetras. I think they're they kind of school better, and I really like black tetras a lot. That's a good choice. They kind of like to chase each other and have fun. And yeah, I like that. But yeah, that's what I would do, is I just add a couple more of the same type of tetras you got.
I'm right there with you. I was going to suggest 3 of each of the tetras. So, I mean, pick a couple more, throw them in there of each of the tetras. Maybe go with 2 more of each of the tetras and add a 6-pack of some Corys to the bottom of that.
That would be fun.
So, yeah, a lot of different things you could do. It'd be perfectly fine to leave it just the way it is. I think it's going to be a beautiful tank, and you're going to have some decent viewing experience with it. But I am with Ed in terms of trying to have 6 or more, usually in a group. It's just going to add more colors, going to add more flair to the tank. So if you can, maybe get 2 more of each of those tetras there. Say you're good on the Endlers, especially if there are any females. If there's any mix of male female in there, they will make babies, and then tetras will chase the babies, I'm sure. But yeah, add 2 more of each of the tetras, or 3 more. If you like Cory cats, get you a 6-pack of Cory cats in there. I think you're going to have a very enjoyable aquarium, Sarah. And thank you for your question. Very much appreciated. Let's rolling down through here. We've got people yelling at Victor. Shame on Victor.
Victor.
I
don't know.
Yes. So Liquid Zeus says, for those that don't know yet, Sarah J. Sieber will be doing her first live stream tonight following Rico Stan, who is going to go after James, and will not be going alone tonight. So, not that you're ever alone, buddy. We're always with you. But yeah, as mentioned, there will be no crafted show tonight, and definitely want to show up and show some love for Sarah J. Sieber and her live stream tonight. Let me roll on through here. All right, I don't think I missed anything highlighted, questions or comments. We're good there. So, we're here. I'm here. I'll speak solely for myself, but I know Ed follows along with the same philosophy on a lot of stuff. I'm here to have fun. That's part of the reason I'm here on YouTube. But I'm also here to help educate and make the hobby better in any way that I can. I'm always open to learning, and I've said this many times. The Tank Show, Time Acquiring New Knowledge, is not just about us teaching you things and telling you how to be a fish keeper, because that's not what we're here to do. We don't claim to be experts, and we probably never will. It's just as much about us learning new stuff from time to time as it is you all learning. So I do like to engage in conversations where, my hopeful outcome would be that maybe I learn something, the other person learns something, and everybody goes away a little bit smarter and a little bit wiser for the better. I'm very much a fan of debate and point counterpoint and things of those nature, or of that nature. That being said, sometimes you find individuals that don't care what the facts are or what you have to say, and just want to be a pain in the backside. So at Amazon Research Center for Ornamental Fish says, "What? You're not experts? Why am I here?" Ha ha ha. Yeah, absolutely. Never claimed to be an expert.
Anthony's here to back us up.
Yeah, exactly. Anthony is here to back us up. We're just guys that have a lot of experience with a lot of different things over a lot of years. And that's really, I feel, what it's about. So that being said, again, this I'll say conversation. It started off of a comment, turned into a conversation. Is no longer available for viewing on the video. Again, for two reasons. One, because I didn't want anybody in here, because I love you guys, to go over there and give this person a piece of their mind. And two, because it was totally irrelevant to the video. So I saw there was a comment pop up, and I looked on my phone, and it was on the video that I did. Was an unboxing and initial thoughts on a Hydro light. And I was like, okay, I try, especially on product reviews or when I see members comment, I try and get to those as quick as I can. Try and help people as best as I can. They have questions or things. So I pulled it up, and like I said, I did miss a couple of comments when I did all of my screenshots here from this conversation, but the ones I have already word for word. So anonymous individual comments, again, on a light unboxing and review, had nothing to do with glowfish. There were glowfish in the background, just like this. It was this 3D background, or not 3D, but this fake green screen background. So this is the comment, and I quote, "How can anyone think glowfish are okay? Is it okay to inject a dog to make it the color you want? Channels showing these illegal fish should be shut down." So already there's a little bit of hostility there, but I'm for those of you that have seen the rare occasions when any type of issue has developed on a live stream, maybe we're doing a walk around, anybody comes up and they're confrontational, I tend to handle those things as politely and properly as I can, as somebody that did a lot of retail management would do. All right, I'm going to hold the chat right there because I did see a question. Doug Be Well. Still don't know if it's Be Well or Bwell. And I know you've told me, but for the love of it, I can't remember. But I see your question, and we will definitely get back to that. I figured since we didn't have any at the moment, we'd do a little story time. A little bit of animosity. For those of you that know me, I tend to handle those with as much courtesy. And sometimes y'all have told me too much courtesy as I can possibly. So I simply came back to test the waters, bring a little bit of information, and find some common ground. So my response was, glowfish aren't injected, though I do agree that injected or tattooed fish are not okay. I'm not a fan of the fish that have dye injected into them, and I'm not a fan of fish that have, things tattooed on them. I don't know that that's really a big thing anymore, but, finding some common ground while also trying to bring some information. Response from Anonymous was, "They are still not okay. Why modify a fish?" Followed 1 minute later with, "Plus, by having them, you are promoting the sale of them. The original pair would have been injected." So we can see that the thought process here is not to learn. And that's what I would like everybody to take away from this conversation. Whether you like glowfish, whether you don't like glowfish, understand that when you're having a conversation, especially in a hobby and something we're all here to enjoy together and do to the best of our abilities for the welfare of these fish, keeping an open mind and being open to actually learning things and finding out what facts are is very much necessary, in my opinion. So I did get, and some of you all will be surprised, a tad bit snarky, just a little bit. My response was, because I knew at this point the person was still not bothering to look. And I clarify that because, well, I mentioned it in here. So my reply, you should really have some facts before being offended by and arguing a point. I felt like that was valid. Injecting the original pair, and I did put quotations on that, would not have made the color hereditary. Information over ignorance. Cheers. I left it at that. So, again, for anybody that does not know and would like to know, these glowfish, they don't take these fish individually and inject color into them. I'm not somebody that would have normally gone and bought glowfish, and we didn't even touch on that. The fact is I got these glowfish because somebody was looking for a home for them at an event. So I said, yes, I'll take them home. And that's why they're in a tank with all these other community fish, because they are, in fact, community fish, typically, for the most part, from what I've seen of glowfish, excluding,
And when they were looking, there was not hardly anybody there left. Almost everybody had left. So James was basically kind of saving a bunch of other fish too, because these were all fish just left in tanks sitting.
Yeah. And I'm not going to say that what they would have done with them. I just know that they were desperate to find a place for them to go because they had no place for them to go at that moment. And not really any people there. But that's a point I didn't even bring up in our conversation as to why I even own them. So, like I said, for anybody that isn't aware, they don't individually inject glowfish with colors and ship them out. They are genetically modified using, I think it's jellyfish and something else was how the strain was created. And they were created for environmental purposes originally. They weren't created initially for the aquarium hobby. Kind of a canary in a coal mine, so to speak. They were modified so that if they came in contact with certain contaminants in the water, they would glow, to make it very simple. So
float to the top at night, and then you could count the die off. At least that's how they were using them in Missouri.
Yeah, absolutely. In terms of the legality of the fish, they are illegal in California, which I did address, and you'll hear me later on. However, it was not that a law was passed where California said you were not allowed to have glowfish in the aquarium hobby. A law was passed in some upends. I'll keep it brief because I do see we've got some questions coming in now, and I definitely want to get to those. But in some upends, it was passed in regard to genetically modified salmon, and the way that the law basically reads is California, so to speak, banned genetically modified aquatic life, which would be glowfish. So again, there wasn't a lot of banned glowfish out of the hobby in California. They fall under another law, which happens very often with a lot of things. And they are, from talking to a couple people, apparently illegal in the UK, and who knows where else. I'm not in the UK. I am in Tennessee in the United States. This is what I know. This is where I live. And that's not that I don't care about you all and love you guys and respect where you're all from, but that's where I care about, I keep piranha because they're legal here. They're not legal in a lot of states. That doesn't affect me. I'm not going to not keep them because they're not legal in Kentucky. That's just not relevant to me. Let me get to the next screenshot here. There we go. Oh, there it is. All right. So response from Anonymous was, Fish Room Fever, are you joking? You clearly don't know what you're doing if you're keeping fish like that. You should be using your channel to promote the hobby and not promoting animal cruelty. So I came back once again for open conversation because I really want my thing here was to get to the base of why do you think you have a problem with them? What information have you acquired that may or may not be true has led you to have this belief? And are you willing to listen to what information is actually out there regarding? So I asked them, And this one I do have to paraphrase because this screenshot I don't have. But I did ask him. I came back and I said, yeah, I'm open to conversation. I will take any facts that you have. Please feel free to educate me on why you think that it's animal cruelty. Response to that. And we'll just do this one, I think one other one. And we're not going to go through the whole conversation. We're going to get into the chat here. Response there was, let me see if I can find it, because it was a nice little zinger. I know there was one about me being a stupid person. I don't see that one. I have a bunch of screenshots of this conversation. Okay, here we go. They're illegal in more than one state. For example, the UK and lots of other countries. They wouldn't be illegal if it wasn't animal cruelty. I'm not going to sit here and try to educate you when you could do some simple research. It's not worth my time. And basically tells me to Google it. Well, I didn't ask for anything that I could ascertain on my own. I asked for his opinion for why he believed they were wrong, to which his response was, Google it. I can't Google why you think something is wrong.
Well, he's been told.
Yeah. So the last one I will read, because he came back
I didn't
said,
realize that the UK was a new state.
Yeah, I'm just going off of what I got here. Oh, here we go. This is the one that really got me, because he bounced back a couple times and was like, well, they're still injected. And then he said, fish room fever. They are not only illegal in Cali, you're really making yourself look stupid here. From the UK, and I have a fish shop. In fact, one of the biggest, and I know what fish are illegal. Glowfish are genetically modified. And there was some back and forth as to, well, why are you claiming to be an expert that they're genetically modified? And then in the next comment, you're like, well, they're injected. But the moral of this story, and I hope y'all got a good laugh out of that, because it went from me trying to be helpful to me just enjoying some banter. Yeah, I enjoy that type of stuff. But moral of the story is, try to keep an open mind when having conversations. Be open to not just teaching, but learning. And if you're going to debate something, please have something to back it up with, or at least tell me where your thought process came from. And if I ask you why you feel a way about something, don't tell me to Google it. I can't Google how you feel. I can Google, where fish are illegal, why they're illegal in that area. I can Google the process how a fish was made. I can't Google your mindset on why you think something should be illegal. So, cheers, buddy. That's to you, as I ended the conversation with. I hope you have a great day. All right, let's jump into the chat here. Doug had said, what's a good soil for planted tanks? Best bang for my buck going to be using root tabs and evergreen, which I'm going to guess that was probably easy green, but maybe there's an evergreen I don't know of. Fertilizer too. So I will say, if you're going for an aqua soil or a dirty tank, you probably will not need to use any nor nearly as much of root tabs and easy green or other liquid fertilizers. Words are hard. Just because a lot of that stuff's already going to be in the soil. That being said, it does over time lose a lot of that. So, you may eventually find that you're needing to add more and more of those things. I personally, actually, let me just turn over to Ed. I've talked too long. I'm going to take a drink. We're going to kick it over to Chattanooga Ed. And he's going to answer that question, and I'll give my thoughts.
Yeah, almost everywhere I've gone, everybody has different ornate soils, companies selling their soil. I think it's just something that it isn't worth just making in one place and shipping it everywhere. So try to find your local ornate soil at the store, and like Milo's here in town doesn't sell it, or my Ace, but I go to Cleveland or Hickson. These are like towns, like suburbs of Chattanooga. They have it. But if it's evergreen topsoil, like from an evergreen forest, or maybe I'm pretty sure you don't want to get dirt from underneath an evergreen tree. I don't know if it's the tar that comes out of it or what, but I remember reading something a long time ago about being careful about getting pine needles in your tank.
Right.
So if it was evergreens, I wouldn't put soil that was from an evergreen area.
Right. And I'm right. I'm right there with Ed. The organic soil is what you're looking for. I've done that in the dirted tanks. If you look into or search dirted tanks, there are a lot of different additives that you can put in there with it. I've done everything from no additives to Ed's got like full on mix of stuff. Father Fish does some great stuff on that too. But really that is my go-to. That is my favorite. That being said, I do have a big old bag of fluval stratum sitting here next to me that is going to go into an aquascape tank. And that really, I feel, is kind of the only place where I will deviate. If I'm doing something that I want to have a very particular look, such as, an aquascape in a rimless tank, and I'm going to put a lot of money invested into that and time, then I'll use something like your fluval stratum, or I'll find something that's the color that I want for that and go with those. But yeah, I mean, a good old dirted tank, you can look up, you can toss some additives in there. But honestly, if you've also got root tabs and you've also got the liquid fertilizer, I mean, you're well ahead of the game.
Yeah, you can just use gravel from Lowe's and clean it up real nice.
You definitely could. But I think you'll find if you did a dirted tank, if that suits what you're doing, I don't know what type of inhabitant you're looking at, something that's not going to dig up in the substrate a lot. Check those out, see if that's maybe something for you. Otherwise, like Ed said, pretty much any substrate you have is not going to matter much with root tabs and easy green. You could do gravel. I mean, you could do bare bottom with potted plants for that matter if you're using liquid fertilizer and the root tabs. Sorry it took a minute to get to your question. I hope you're still hanging out with us. Let me jump up here because the chat did jump on. We got a couple super chats. Finn, Danigan, I see you, brothers. I see you. I will get right over there to you. And I do very much appreciate those super chats, my friends. All right, back to the top. Well, as top as I can get here. All right. It let me go back to 936, which I think was before the question, but we'll see.
Look at what I got.
Hey there. Oh, awesome.
Live berries without thorns.
Very nice.
It's kind of like glowfish of plants. No thorns. But they're cool.
Absolutely. Let's see. We've got Patrick Hardy saying hello. Big old peace, everybody. Amazon Research Center for Ornamental Fish saying, love you, Ed.
Thank you.
Rolling down through. I feel like there's a question that is no longer available to me. If you asked your question before that in the chat, feel free to throw it back in there. I'm rolling and scrolling now. Whipsroll says, I do claim to be an expert, and I fully support the thought and opinions of the people who believe fish only grow to the size of the tank, and if the water is clear, the parameters are perfect. And he's laughing, and after the fact, laughing face. Hey, Eduardo, how are you? Good to see you. Pegasus Arenas says, hi, my friends. A little late, but I'm here. Sorry to hear you had a bad comments. Oh, please don't apologize. Don't feel bad for me. A friend of mine, I feel like I can call him a friend. He's probably listening. He often does. But a good friend of mine says, I only look at the comments if I want to feel bad about myself. Now, we're blessed that we don't really have that issue so much here on the channel. But I know that as the channel continues to grow, it will get more and more that way. But please, that was not what I would consider a bad or hurtful or mean comment. I kind of take all those zingers away because I out front, I tell you, hey, I'm a guy with dentures that lives in a trailer. Okay. I mean, were you going to hurt my feelings? I was a bill collector. I've been called every name in the book, plus some that they can't write in there. They're going to hurt my feelings. But I shared that because I wanted people to understand that is not the way to approach a conversation. Sarah Aquatic says, thank you for answering my question. And I was thinking of getting a couple more of each, plus 5 albino cory cats and 5 pygmy cory cats. So here, there you go. Here's what and you're welcome to do that. But I personally feel that you might enjoy it better if you picked one or the other on the cory cats. While I have seen cories kind of grouped together that are different types of cories, you might have more fun watching 8 or 10 pygmies all together, because those I won't say I know, but from my experience, I would be led to believe are going to stay together a lot more than having 2 separate packs of Corys. So just a thought, but either way, works great, and you're definitely entitled, of course, to do whichever you would much more enjoy and whichever you see fit. I'm trying to sneeze here.
You know, I saw Jess from Maine's Tails, Furs, and Fins is here, and we've missed her several times, and I don't want her to think that we aren't loving her.
No, I think she got locked behind a wall at one point, and somebody pocket modded her out. But Maine's Tails, Fur, and Fins, Jess, how's it going? Appreciate you being here. Always a pleasure to see you. And Sarah, you're more than welcome. I appreciate the question. Again, we're here to give our opinions based upon our experiences. So appreciate you. Crypt Keeper says, hey, Ed and James. Ed, hope all is well, and pray for a quick recovery when you do have to go for the procedure.
Thank you. I need it. Hopefully I do heal really quick.
Definitely. Absolutely, buddy. Crystal's Pets and Plants saying hello, Crystal. Always a pleasure.
Crystal,
you've been a friend for a long time.
She's amazing.
She's always showing up. Appreciate what she does. Alice B says, do you know of any floating plants that do well in low light? Ed?
Well, I find that my water sprite does really well. And I mean, it actually does way over well. So I have to throw a lot of that out. You can use Kabomba. I think it's called Carolina Kabomba or Kabomba Carolina. It's one or the other. It is a stem plant that will also float really good, like guppy grass. It's real pretty. Doesn't need a lot of light. Guppy grass does a good job. But the problem with guppy grass is it'll overpopulate and start killing itself from the inside, kind of like a moss might do. I don't know if does she want on top of the floaters, because frog bit doesn't do too bad under low light.
That was going to be my recommendation. I found that frog bit for me has done extremely well regardless of the lighting situation, including low light situations, because I've got a big mix of different lights. I don't have like one specific style or brand of light that I use on all tanks, which hopefully is going to change. There is, and I kind of touched on it a little bit last year. There's a company that's I guess you could say a startup that reached out. They have their own brand of aquarium lights. They sent me one. Should be here Monday, so I can do an unboxing and then I can start really testing it. So who knows? Maybe that will be the brand that goes on all my tanks.
I like Dr. Anthony says the only floaters he has are dead fish.
Yeah. I don't recommend those though. But those definitely do float. You know. Frogbit's probably my favorite. I haven't really done a whole lot of others. I don't feel like you could, and I may be wrong here. Don't tell Mrs. Fever I said that. I don't know that you could get away with red root floaters in a low light. Please, somebody let me know if you can. I've not tried it, so I would love to hear that that's okay. But I think Frogbit would probably be my go-to. I love this stuff. I really do.
Rustic Nashville was saying, I think it was Rustic. Oh gosh, now I'm not for sure. So take notes for different ideas for crafts. I'm planning on making 12 of these like fish while I'm down and out and painting them, and then I'll cover them with a glaze, and I'm going to put them on a stick, kind of like those birds that you can buy, those wood birds. And I'm going to give out one a week for 2.5 or for 3 months, I guess.
Nice, very cool.
On my show afterwards. But I wanted to get them all together and take a big picture of all 12 fish together. I thought that'd be neat too.
Definitely. So we've got about 120 people hanging out here. I appreciate you all very, very much. Welcome to the stream. If you've not been here before, glad you checked us out. And of course, all you awesome people returning, appreciate you being here. Aqua Designs by MLT says, hey, Fish Room Fever and Chattanooga Ed. Love that tank behind you. Nice activity. Thank you. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate that. Although it does support animal cruelty because it has glowfish in it, and I don't know how to keep fish, I still appreciate it. Sorry, I had to throw the little jab in there. That's who I am. That's how But
my mom is constantly asking for those for her little tank I set up. I don't know. Did you see the tank I set up for her?
yeah, I think I did. I feel like I did.
Well, it's super cute. She's like got all of the lights off in there except for the TV and the fish tank, and there's a turtle light that she's had in here that's never turned on. So I plugged it in next to it, and it looks really cute all together. But just doesn't have fish. But she really wants those, and I was like, Mom, you don't want to put white skirt tetras in that size tank.
Right, absolutely.
So I'm going to try to show her what the danios look like, even though it might even be a little small for some danios. But I was thinking maybe neon tetras and cherry rasboras. I think she might like those. And I have got some beautiful red inlers, but I guess because they're from me, she doesn't want the idea or want them.
If you brought them home from a pet store, she'd love them.
Yeah.
So just bag them, take them out with you, and then come back and be like, look, I picked these up at the pet store for you. Sarah Aquatic says, Fisher Fever, the UK is the 52nd state. I love it. I love it. Definitely. Yeah, there was more to that conversation, but it was just some back and forth banter. People are like, just block them and move on. Normally, I wouldn't even remove the stuff, but I felt like it was getting to be one way off the point of an aquarium light comment. Had nothing to do with the aquarium light, and two, there was no, how do I phrase this? We'll just say I didn't want people to come back and get on this guy's case, because I know you guys and you're awesome and I love you. Sometimes you're maybe a little too supportive. You're very protective, I'll put it that way, and I appreciate it. All right, moving on here. Fish Tank Dad, how's it going? Says, I own Microsoft, so don't argue with me about software. Software is for milking cows. All right, I'm going to jump over here to these super chats I see piling up. Amazon Research Center for Ornamental Fish. I don't know a good remedy for stupid. I really don't. If I had that, I'd be rich, and I have a lot more followers, right? Or viewers or subscribers or whatever. I'd be big time because I could, cure the world. All right. Good. We'll pause it right there. Let me jump over to the other screen here. Roll on back up here. We had Finn Wiggles. Finn, sorry, it's been a minute. Appreciate you. Here's what we're going to do. This is a little different. This is a little more out there stream. I'm not usually in any way argumentative. Oh, no, my wig is gone. Oh, there's my wig. We're going to give you all the boa and the wig. Some of y'all haven't seen this goofy outfit.
Oh, we haven't seen it with the black or with the green screen.
We gotta, give everybody a laugh here. How about that? My wig is ruined. I got to get another wig. It got all messed up. If this were my hair, I would cut it because it's too knotted.
Is it illegal to show pictures of people from a parking lot? Oh, wow.
I don't know. I guess it depends on the state. There are different laws in different states regarding surveillance and things of that nature.
Yesterday,
Tennessee should be fine.
I took a picture of a guy. Well, I'll let you talk, and I'll tell you about the picture.
Let me do this so I can get this god-awful stuff off of me here, Ed. Finn Wiggles with the $10 super chat. Thank you so much, Finn. Appreciate it. Says, I think the glowfish combo is just a smokescreen for the elephant in the room, which is that unibrow angelfish in the same tank. It is. That is Dr. Evil. He runs the show. He actually, if we're being honest, okay, I'll tell you. The unibrow angelfish is actually the one that injects every single glowfish. It was his creation, and he continues to do so. And I actually am, in fact, owned by him. But you all didn't hear that here. Thank you so much, Finn, for the super chat. Really do appreciate you. Always appreciate your support. And thank you for being here tonight. Again, sorry it took me a minute to get on down there to it. Ken Aquatics, what's going on? Kenny E with a $5 super chat says, James, you keep glowfish and allow yourself to be piranha food. You have issues, LOL, with a whole bunch of different laughing faces. Love you, buddy. Yeah, I mean, I'm following the science, Kenny. Following the science. So yeah, the piranha have nibbled on me. That's doing really well, by the way. See,
It really is. You can't even hardly see it.
Yeah. I'm just a crazy guy. That's what it's all about, right? But I do appreciate you, brother. Kenny, Ken Aquatics, thank you for that super chat. And of course, your support, my friend. I hope we get to see you soon. It's been too long since we got to hang out, buddy. Rico Stan. There you go. That'll be awesome. It'll be good to catch up and hang out and have some
We'll have
fun.
to punch him in the shoulder.
Definitely. Rico Stan, been a member for 19 months on Team Snowball, says, this doesn't seem right. I swear it was longer. That sounds like something Rico Stan would say, or something he might hear.
Or brag about.
I knew where he was going with that. Rico Stan, thank you so much. And Rico followed that up with the $5 super chat. Says, it's a holiday in Cambodia. Tough kid, but it's life. It's a holiday in Cambodia. Don't forget to pack a wife. Always with the lyrics. Always with the lyrics. Don't ask. I don't know where it's from. I'm that young whippersnapper that don't know nothing. But Rico, appreciate the super chat support, being a member, being a part of the Fish Room Fever family of channels. Everything you do for this community. You're an awesome guy, and I appreciate you. For anybody that missed out earlier, it was mentioned, Rico Stan will be following me tonight instead of Crafted, and then Rico Stan will be followed by Sarah J. Sieber's very first live stream. So it's going to be a fun night.
The Seaver Show.
Yeah. The Zen Ginger, been a member of Team Zebra for 23 months, almost 2 years. I was talking to her a little bit about that 2-year badge and what she might like to see. I'm going to incorporate the surprise still. But it says, why does it say 13 months? I'm a year, 10 months, 19 days. It says 23 months on my screen.
Maybe Daylight Saving Times did something.
She said, get it together, YouTube. Hashtag Team Zebra. Thank you so much, then, for all your support. And then let me jump back to the other screen because it never shows the very last one. And then I'm going to get this wig off of here because this is so hot. Well, hot. Roll on down, and I'll roll back up. Oh, where was it? Where was it? It was Kenny's member chat, but that's all I can see. It says, all right, there we go. I get my Fish Room Fever badge next month. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. And brother, I do appreciate that. It's crazy to think that it's been so long. I'm going to get this off of here. We're going to get back to being almost kind of serious. Plus, it was tickling my nose. I'm already trying not to sneeze here. All right. There's the fun, goofy part. I hope y'all got a laugh. I appreciate all the love and support. Thank you for the super chats. Each and every one of you all, and all you awesome members. Thank you so much.
Oh, Zen Ginger says it says 23 months for me when I see her.
Mike's Aquatics and Things would like to know if you got a package yesterday, Ed.
Oh, I did.
You did. Was it a special package?
Yeah, sorry. I was hearing two of me in my ears for a second. I haven't opened it. I was going to open it on Rico's show, but I could open it now too if you like.
If you've got it saved up for Rico's show, I say you hold on to it for Rico's show.
Okay.
All right.
What the heck? It says 13 months for me too.
YouTube. You got to get it together. Got to get it together. Hey there, Rustic Nashville. Not the wig, says Rico Stan. Yeah, we threw the wig out there. Getting a real Elton John vibe. Yeah, I mean, hey, if I can make people laugh, you know, I've done a small service, and that's all I can ask for. So Mickham says, I think tip is important to review the species. I think this was a conversation I wasn't meant to be involved in.
Can I show you this guy that I took a picture of in the parking lot yesterday?
Absolutely.
Now, it was very difficult because my hand was like really hurt. So I had to do this with my left hand and go click without him noticing. And I didn't get a very good shot of him. Oh, gosh, wrong hand. See this guy? When he walked by the car, I swear he looked like a perfect morph of 50% Sean Peck and 50% Ben Ochart.
Yeah, I guess I could see that.
I wish I would have got the front on shot because it was so crazy. It was like Ben Ochart's hair and mustache and Sean's face. It was just weird. And I was bummed out I didn't get a straight on shot. But at least I got him packing his water. But yeah, he'd be like a glowfish. Like you take Sean and Ben and you put them in like I guess one of those paint shakers and spin them up real bad, and that's what would come out.
If I could genetically modify, or I had a paint shaker large enough to put human beings in, I would not be here. I would be famous. No, I'm just kidding. Rustic Nashville saying, Fisher Fever, psst, who are you going to call? Tennessee Fish Mafia. Absolutely right, Assassin Snail. And that's the thing. Like that's the biggest reason that I hid that conversation, because we're like family, and I know we all get each other's backs, and that I didn't want to have
Like
people going over there and ganging up on somebody, especially when it was not going to be any positive outcome. J. Oliver's Guppies and Aquatics, but remember, for 17 months, it's good seeing you guys. John, always good to see you. I hope you're doing well. Hopefully we'll get to hang out as well in the near future. Who knows? We shall see. It's always a fun time, my friend.
A cool guy.
He is.
Who do you think would win in an arm wrestling match? John Oliver or Danikin?
Me, because I get to videotape it and put it on my channel as a short.
And I would get to win because I would get to cheer for both
there
sides.
You go. There, Xanadu, been a member for 16 months. This seems longer for me too. LOL. Or, geez, still lucky number 13. Absolutely, Xanadu. I hope those fish are still doing well for you. I hope they've made babies. And at this point, those babies have made babies. Always good to see and appreciate the support. My buddy Chattanooga, Ed, there, with his member comments, says, grrr, grrr. You can do the angry face, Ed, your wrestler face. There we go. That's Ed's comment in the chat. It looks exactly like that. I need that emoji, actually. All right, rolling down through here. Mary Beth, been a member for 15 months. Thank you as well so much for your love and support. Says, I think everyone says 13 months. It must be on the front end, the back end, on your end, the user end.
When you type it in. But then when it pops up, it's your right month.
Yep. So YouTube's messing with something somewhere. Anytime something weird like that happens, it seems like they're messing with something somewhere. Xanadu with the $5 super chat, following up that membership chat. Never expected, but very much appreciated, my friend. It says, I love the Fish Room Fever streams. Thanks all. I love doing them. I love being here with you all. I love hanging out. We got 100 and something people in the chat. Y'all are awesome. 76 of you all actually like the stream. So I'm glad you're enjoying it. I just appreciate the support. Appreciate you all being here.
Kenny's getting surgery here soon on his shoulder because he has a torn rotator cuff.
Oh, goodness.
And that's like, my mom said out of all of her surgeries, that was the worst one. And she's had like a fake hip and 2 fake knees and a lot of other junk.
Yeah, that's rough. My shoulder's still not right from the last fall I took. So the fall before. It was the fall before. This shoulder's good. That shoulder's still.
I wish I could have seen it.
I wish you could have too. You would have laughed. Sean's a nice guy. Peck Tech did not laugh at me.
Sean almost had a stroke. He went, oh my God. And then I was like, what happened? And I was like ready to turn around, and I thought his arm was going to be flopping, like broken. But I did think he had skinned it really bad, and it was like a white stripe. And I thought, oh my God, I think I do see his bone. And it was kind of gross. But yeah, that was a rough day. I don't know if I would have laughed.
I would have been fine. All is well. I'm fine. Everything's fine. We're all fine. Xanadu said, I do have a lot of handlers now. Oh, I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad that they did well for you and bred out well. And you are now swarmed with endlers.
Endlers are a little tougher than guppies because they can handle a little cooler water and softer water, which is kind of nice.
All right. I think looks like I'm down at the bottom. Yeah, looks like I'm down at the bottom. Yeah, I don't know, members. I don't know what's going on with the time shift variance, the quantum misplacement of membership days. I'm not sure. That's a YouTube thing. Hopefully they'll get it figured out.
I'm sure it's just a temporary deal.
A research center for ornamental fish was saying, I've been a member for 3 weeks. I appreciate it. I really, really do. Each and every one of you all, y'all are awesome.
Oh my gosh, this is when you want to join because you'll get 13 free months.
There you go. Speaking of Amazon Research Center for Ornamental Fish, Dr. Anthony is headed out of here. Says, have a great night, y'all. It's about to board the plane. Do your order changes. treat each other with respect. Do your water changes. When I land, I will be in Peru. I've got to say, I'm envious. I would love to come down to Peru. One of these days, it will happen. But yes, safe travels to you, my friend. As always, it's great to see you. Try and enjoy your flight. Try not to not enjoy your flight.
Red-eye flights were my favorite flights because they kind of used to keep them dark and everybody was real quiet. Oh, man, I used to love flying late night. I didn't know they did many of them anymore.
Oh, they're flying all the time. Alice B says, Ed, could you maybe get or Ed could maybe get his mom a glow betta if she likes the glowfish.
You know what? I think that, well, I showed her one betta and she really wanted it. And somebody had bought it like 2 minutes before we got to the shop. I need something, and it was a crown tail that, so it didn't have like a lot of stuff that would get stuck in sticks. But I'll go take a picture of the tank real quick because I think I'd have to get a plakat or like, one that already has the splits, because if I got a nice big solid tail, I think it would mess up. But I'll take a photo real quick.
All right. I'm going to get to this question here. I'll have to reread it for you. Whisper with $5 super chat. Whip, really appreciate you, buddy. But says this is nearly impossible to answer given the limited font space to explain. But my fire eel has a distended belly, swollen back door, deposit hole, a little poop emoji. Any thoughts? So there are a lot of different possibilities, some of which I would never have the foresight to even think of. Again, I go back to that example of we tried to fix a problem with someone and it ended up being their cat turned up their CO2. I would have never figured that one out. That being said, I would start with the basics. I would ease off on feeding it for at least a few days. A fish can go a good while, as you're well aware of, Whip, without being fed. So I would give it at least a few days of not giving it anything else to ingest and add into the situation. It is possible. I've seen it happen, not with a fire eel, but I've seen it happen with other fish before where they actually end up swallowing part of the substrate. They swallow a small pebble or a rock, and that could end up getting lodged in places and doing horrible things, or depending upon the size of the fish to the size of the substrate, it can try and work its way through. And that's when you get some of the poop hole issues. If they're trying to pass something that they shouldn't have ingested and they shouldn't be trying to pass. But I would initially start with not feeding it for a couple days, kind of let things sit where they are, see if that helps any. Of course, there are all sorts of things that go into internal parasites. The food that you're feeding isn't digest, which it's Whip. I know Whip feeds good food. I know the man knows how to care for fish. So there are some things that I just kind of automatically rule out. But I would initially start with giving it at least a couple days, maybe a week of not feeding. That way you're not adding to that. See how it progresses. I don't know the temperament or size of the fish or your personal feelings on comfort with doing it. I don't imagine you'd have a problem. But you could try to... It's not going to be fun. I've done this with the fish for a couple different things. You could always try to see if you can maybe get the fish, get some whatever kind of stress guard or stress coat, something so you're not messing with their coating. Get your hands where they're covered in it and try and get that fish to try and feel its stomach. Feel if you can feel any type of impaction in there. See if there's something that's lodged in there that it shouldn't have gotten ingested. And maybe that will help you to figure out exactly which path to try going down. Welcome back, Ed. We're talking about fish and their poop holes.
Oh, cool.
But thank you again, Whip, for the $5 super chat. And as always, if you get any more information or anything, just feel free to send me a message, man. You've got my information. You can always message me. We can try and figure it out. We get Ed involved. And all that good stuff. No super chat required, but always very much appreciated. Razor Reef says, fish room fever are Caridina shrimp hard to keep in Knoxville water? I don't see the local stores carrying them.
What?
Arcaridina shrimp hard to keep in Knoxville water? I don't see the local stores carrying them. So I think part of that is going to play to the fact that we actually have a couple different municipal water sources in Knoxville. Like you can go to different parts of Knoxville and they're not all on KUP. They're not all on Knoxville Utilities Board water, which is why the Pet Supplies Plus right by my house and the Pet Supplies Plus in West Knoxville carry a broadly different spectrum of fish. The one in West Knoxville has a lot more cool fish from Central South America, and they've got completely different water. The manager at this store here by me says that they've tried it, just their water, the fish don't live. They've tried it, the fish die. They just can't handle the water here. The other thing that plays into that is I have seen the local fish stores carry them, but they don't seem to do really well in terms of sales. There's not really a lot of people looking for them here locally, and I think that is probably the bigger of the two as to why you don't really see them, especially with local fish stores versus box, is that they haven't done well enough in sales for them to keep them all the time. That being said, typically you can ask your local fish store. If it's something they have on their list, they will typically order it for you. So like I could go into Aquatic Marine right up the road from me here in Knoxville and say, hey, Kenny, do you have this fish on your list? Because they have a list of things that are available to them. They can't just order everything all the time. And if it's on there, they're like, yeah. And I go, well, can you order me a dozen of these shrimp? And they're typically very happy to do that because they know that there's somebody that is buying them, and that's another product that they get to sell if you're looking at it from the retail perspective. Sorry, Ed, you needed to say something. Go ahead, buddy.
Oh, well, I mean, I agree with what you're saying. I think another reason is it's a delicate shrimp, so they're probably tired of people taking them home and putting them in their hard water and dying. But I know I've seen the aquarium have blue bolts. They tried it 4 or 5 years ago. But they were super expensive on top of it. And I think they were trying to cover their losses. And it's just, I would just go and order them because there's so many good flip aquatics, but there's a lot of a lot of good places online to find shrimp.
Absolutely.
and I end up saying flip instead of shrimp because I'm thinking flips. But I mean, you got Joe and you've got the shrimp. Gosh, how am I forgetting everybody's name? Jerry's Shrimp.
Joe Shrimp Shack?
Well, yeah, that was Joe's Shrimp Shack.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jerry is Papa Shrimp. And then you got LRB. So, I mean, and you got Grant. So there's
let's just say, I don't. Does the Garden of Eden, does Grant sell online? I don't recall. If he's here, surely he can say something. But yeah, there are a lot of online options available.
Yeah.
But if you are trying to support a local store and you have one available, I'm assuming you're possibly from the Knoxville area since you were asking about the shrimp and saying you don't see them here locally, at least you travel through here. I wouldn't hesitate to ask if they, what they have available, what can they order for you. Never hurts. But yeah, there are quite a few awesome people online that you could order from and support that have amazing. Okay, he does sell them online. So there you go. Garden of Eden is another one. So you can check him out. He is also a member of the Fisherman Fever family of channels. Awesome guy, awesome content. I was watching that video. I didn't get to watch it all, Grant, but I was watching that Boys versus Girls Aquascape, if you will, video. That was very, very cool.
Yeah, I should have probably said him first. But, I mean, I like everybody pretty much equally, so I was not picking one person over another.
I like Ed the most.
Yeah, thank you. I do too. I'm messing
Absolutely.
With you. But well, I work, I get to see Rob every week on the meeting. So that's why Flip kept popping in my brain. But there's a lot of great people out there.
Rob's an awesome guy as well. A lot of good people. Sarah J. Sieber, using her membership chat there, been a member for 13 months on Team Snowball, says, I have 6 new sets of Maltese fry in the 30 breeder slow cold water change that made them breed like rabbits, with a laughing emoji. That is awesome. I'm glad to hear it, Sarah. And I'm looking forward to your live stream, your very first live stream tonight after the Rico Stand show, which is coming up next in just a minute. I'm going to get through these last couple of comments, super chats, and things, and then we will be heading over to Rico Stand. Pew Fish Zone, I see a Pew, says, have you guys ever checked your TDS waters parts per million? I have not. I just haven't. I've never had any issues to cause me to. I've never kept anything that super required. Let me rephrase it. I've never kept anything that presented any issues that would cause me to check it. I have some sensitive thing like the zebra plecos. You know, those could be a delicate fish. They have certain things that they require. I know kind of initially what my base is on a lot of stuff simply by observing how you could say the water interacts, how things interact with each other within the environment, and what signs show hard water, soft water, minerals, dissolves, stuff like that. So I've never had a reason to. That being said, I've got a buddy who owns a TDS meter. Ed?
I do. And I've never used it. I bought it. Okay. I bought it a couple years ago with James.
Yeah.
And I have now bought batteries for it 3 times, and I never get the batteries in the. I always seem to get home and lose my batteries. So that's a big reason why I don't have blue bolts. You know,
Absolutely.
I don't have the Caradinas because I need to check that, and I just haven't done it. So I'm a terrible person.
Shame
but I do
on
own
you.
the machine.
Well, yeah, check it at some point because Pew Fish Zone really just wanted to know what our TDS is. Now, mine and Ed's could and probably would be totally different. He's far enough away. He's about 6 municipal water sources over from me, if not more than that. Like I said, just here in Knoxville, we've got multiple different water supplies depending upon what part of Knoxville you're in.
Mine's going to be different from Bob's. He's 22 miles away, but there's a valley in between us that's filled with water. So.
Yeah, and we could go on and on with that and just run right over Rico Stand's time and talk about water variances and importances and what fish, do better where, but we won't do that. What we will do is say thank you so much, Sarah J. Sieber, an awesome subscriber, member, and friend of ours. The multis you sent me are doing phenomenal, Sarah. Maybe I need to do a cold water change, have them pop out a whole bunch of babies real quick. But she sent a super chat with $1 pile of poo, that big brown pile of fertilizer. Thank you so much, Sarah. Appreciate that. Looking forward to your show tonight. Last couple things, Rico, I promise we'll be headed over there. Wisp World, using his membership chat there, gets recognition. It says parasites are a thought, but no other fish are affected. It's a 12-inch eel and a 75-gallon. All he eats is frozen bloodworms, but it's offered extreme flake and Hikari pellets. So I've never had this issue, and I don't know how true this to be. How true this is. I don't know the truth of the matter. We shall find the truth of the matter, Lord. I will say I did see somebody somewhere in God knows what chat, stream, comment, I don't know. Somebody talking about how bad frozen bloodworms were because they caused intestinal problems. I have not researched further into that. I did not really give it any second thought just because I've fed frozen bloodworms for so very, very long. And it might have been a brand issue for that person or a bad batch. Who knows? Maybe something to look into. Like I said, I'm not discrediting it, but I'm also not giving it merit just based upon how long and how much I've fed frozen bloodworms over the years. Getting be decades and not too long. I'm getting old. Rustic Nashville's. Oh, go ahead, buddy.
Rustic wants to know, how does she win one of these paper mache or clay fish? These are clay, and I made them on Pam stream last week because I just didn't want to start a new project before my surgery, even though now it looks like I could have. But I'm going to probably make another 3 or 4 on Pam's this Saturday if she has me up. And I want to make up to 12. I'm going to paint them really cool and put them on a stand. And I'm going to randomly pick one out of a hat for 3 months on my show. So just tune into my show once I'm back and healthy. I'll be right after James like old days, and we'll do one a day, like towards, well, somewhere in between the beginning and the end of the show. Look, there's Lefty.
Lefty 32138. What's going on, buddy? All right, let's burn through these because we're 5 minutes into Rico's time, and he's mean. He's not like Ed. He doesn't let me get away with it. Rustic Nashville says, got to meet James Fish Room Fever in Knoxville at Kenny's Aquatic Marine. Don't be hating, LOL. Heart smiley faces and a thumbs up. That was awesome. It was very cool to meet you, and I believe it was your daughter that was with you. I love getting to hang out with other viewers, other fishy people, so it's always very cool. And I'm so close to that store. It's typically fairly easy for me to just run up there when people are in the area, but it always helps if you let me know ahead of time, like, hey, I'm going to be in town, and I'll, so generally speaking, unless I just can't get up there, be like, yeah, sure, I'd love to meet you. I'll meet you up there at the local fish store, and we can hang out, look at fish, and talk. All right. Razor Reef, you are absolutely welcome. Thank you so much for your question, and thank you for hanging out with us tonight.
You know, I got some bad news. Every time I hear Razor Reef, did you know that Razor Ramon died yesterday?
I had no clue, Ed.
Do you know who Razor Ramon is?
I have no clue.
Oh,
no clue.
A wrestler from my old days.
I'm sorry to hear that, buddy. But in the interest of time, I will say I'm sorry. I don't know who it is, but my condolences to that person's family. But I'm that young whippersnapper. I don't know who anybody is. Remember, Burgard with $5 super chat says Team Tennessee Power Steam. Absolutely. Bird Garden, Rack. We miss you, buddy. I feel like I haven't seen you in years. Power Stream. I thought that's what you intended initially. But yeah, Team Tennessee Power Stream. He did come back afterwards and autocorrect the autocorrect. Yes. Need to get you on sometime, Rack. We need to get together. We need to hang out. We need to do some fun stuff. All right.
We got to go visit him. And I mean, we've been saying that for a year.
Yeah, it feels like it. Feels like it. If Ed wasn't always having to do surgeries things, gosh, that guy, I don't know about him. All right. On that note, at the bottom of the chat, did not miss any super chat, super stickers, or member chats. I do appreciate you all very, very much for those. That love and support goes to help further the channel. It keeps us, I think it's like I just paid $50 tonight for this streaming software, so that helps right there. I appreciate you all very, very much and all your support. A huge thanks to Ed for hanging out with us tonight, even though he's not feeling 100%. Buddy, it's always a pleasure to get to hang out with you and have some fun. We're going to go over to Rico Stand next, but until next Thursday night, until next time, a huge thanks to all the moderators, members, super chatters, contributors, questioners, commentators, of course, the lurkers, the replay crew. I love you guys. And Rustic Nashville signing us off here with the $10 super chat. Just got the peace emoji there. But until next time, Rustic, thank you so much for that super chat. Keep your fish healthy. Keep yourselves healthy. Try not to argue too much. Try to learn something and help educate another individual this week. Until next time, don't be afraid to catch yourself a little fish.